So there we go, Ireland get their first win of the tournament, beating the Scots at Murrayfield by 22 points to 13. An incredible first half especially, not such a good second half, but lots to talk about. So here's my review and my reaction to that match. If you do go on to enjoy this video, do subscribe, it's free to do, it's much appreciated. Leave a like as well and comment down below what went well for Ireland and what do Scotland need to improve before heading to Paris next week. So the game started at 100 miles per hour. Scotland on the front foot, lots of ball, and Ireland were actually kicking the ball a lot to Stuart Hogg, which surprised me quite a bit. And Scotland got the first penalty through Laidlaw and things were looking good for Scotland. But Ireland came back into it and pretty much against the run of play got the first try of the match through Conor Murray. Chris Farrell running through, played it through to Stockdale, a chip over the top. Seemed pretty simple for Seymour to get it, and him and Maitland just don't communicate properly together. Maitland comes towards him, Seymour throws the pass to him thinking he's not going to come towards him. The pass is too much, goes past Maitland, and Murray picks it up and goes over for a simple try and an unavoidable try. For Scotland's point of view, Ireland take the lead. Against the run of play, it's 5-3 to Ireland at this point. In the build-up to this try, there's a controversial decision where it seemed like there was a obstruction on Stuart Hogg, and I personally think it should have been a penalty and gone back for it. How much of a difference Stuart Hogg would have had in the build-up to that try, I'm not too sure, but still it should be a penalty, and the try, in my opinion, should not have counted O'Mahony on Stuart Hogg, and that seemed to have injured him as well, and we'll get onto that in a little bit. Sexton did miss the conversion because he was slightly injured as well, and again we'll get to that in a bit. Scotland then were very, very physical, big hits coming in, trying to get over the gain line, using their big forwards to try and dominate Ireland at their own game. Stuart Hogg then went off injured 16 minutes into the match, holding his shoulder, so he went off and Blair Kinghorn came on, and he had played pretty well, I thought. He ran at the defence, he almost scored a try himself, and he did pretty well except for one or two little mistakes. But Ireland scored again, this time Jacob Stockdale getting the try for Ireland, the star of last year's Six Nations, of course. Lovely work by Sexton, drawing in the defender and dragging the defence across and then playing it in to Stockdale, who ran a brilliant line. The Scottish defence should not have been pulled across that much. They should not have committed as such, held their positions and taken the man out before he could deliver the pass. But it's easier said than done. Sexton is so good at that. And he feeded him through, and Stockdale ran in from 50 yards to score for Ireland. Conor Murray took the conversion for them, and Ireland were leading at this point. But there was a TMO decision for Scotland which came up, and it looked like there was a forward pass in the build-up for the try that Sam Johnson got. It wasn't even given as a try, they just went and checked it straight away, but it was a forward pass from Finn Russell to Kinghorn, and a definite forward pass, so no question about it there. Then Sexton went off and Carberry came on, and Carberry didn't have the best of starts because Sam Johnson got an early try straight after Carberry coming on. Carberry tries to throw a flat pass across. It's very tight to try it, and Finn Russell reads it perfectly, sprints through towards the right corner from 50 yards, can't quite get there. Keith Earls tackles him, but Finn Russell's just his awareness of who's around him, of where his support is, and Sam Johnson's run is perfect and just pops it up. It's like he's lying on the couch and just pops the ball up to him, and Sam Johnson goes over. And it's more than Scotland deserved. They were brilliant in that first half. Sorry, it's not more than they deserved, it's what they deserved. They were brilliant in that first half and deserved a try. And Scotland had the momentum going throughout this match. They started that game really well and they were finishing the second half very strongly. But Ireland held them out then throughout the rest of the first half, and you felt as if the momentum shifted at the end of that first half. There was an opportunity for Seymour to get a try, but he overruns his run slightly and the ball is just behind him, so he can't get onto momentum with it. And they would have scored definitely if he'd timed his run right, but he just didn't. Simple things like that let Scotland down in the second half. We're going to look at that now, and it just blows my mind. But at half time, it was Scotland 10, Ireland 12. So very close. Not much in it at all, and Scotland, you'd say, would have had the better of the first half with possession, but Ireland had taken their chances. But in the second half, It was just a error-riddled half from Scotland. Just simple things, knock-ons, forward passes, coming into the ruck, handling errors. 15 in the match for Scotland, and 11 of them came in the second half, which is just atrocious from Scotland. And Scotland were really struggling at this point. Ireland were seeming to get a lot of the decisions of Romain Poite, who I thought actually was a bit on the Irish side. I'm not Scottish, but I did think he was. A few decisions I thought that should have gone the Scottish way went the Irish way. And yeah, if I was a Scottish person and a Scottish rugby fan, I would be quite annoyed at some of the decisions. Keith Earls got the try for Ireland then, really to seal the victory in many ways. Missed tackles on Gerry Carbery on the halfway line by 2 forwards. You just got to complete them. They seem to get around him and he just manages to wriggle out. I'm sorry, but you have got to take him out. You have got to stop him, because there was no one behind. The defence was across onto the right side, and Carbery just comes through and he just runs. You think he's going to run in, he can't quite get there, but he has the awareness to pick Keith Earls out, who goes over for a try. But Scotland get themselves a penalty to get themselves back into it. It's Laidlaw's penalty, and they're 13-19 down, 62 minutes in. So there's 20 minutes to go. There's enough time to get back into the game, but these errors just keep on coming into their game. They seem to have some great build-up, but then they just drop the ball, or there's someone coming in on the side of the ruck, which is just completely unnecessary. It's really silly, and forcing the offload, trying to force the miracle pass, when actually going to ground, recycling the ball and going through the phases, I think would have suited Scotland more in this match. And just before the end, in 69 minutes, Carbery got a penalty to finish the game off 22-13, which meant Scotland would need 2 scores to catch up to Ireland. So Ireland win, I would say, in the second half, deservedly so. In the first half, Scotland were on top and would have liked to have capitalised more and should have gone in at half-time in front, but they didn't. Romain Poite, there's a lot to be said about him, and I'm sure if you're Scottish, you'll comment down below. Was he biased? And let me know in the comments down below. I thought a really physical game and a lot of big hits being put in from both sides on there. So yeah, so that's my review of the game between Scotland and Ireland. If you have enjoyed this review, do subscribe, much appreciated. Leave a like, comment down below your thoughts. The review for Wales vs Italy will be out later on the channel after the game, of course. Same as France against England. And also, there will be a podcast on Monday looking back at the weekend's action with Kyle from Stargler G-Star. He's a Scottishman, so he'll have a lot to say about this game. So be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you again on BIS Rugby.